Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about intersections of lines and the angle relationships created from them. So, as we all know, angles are created from an intersection of lines. Something like this. Now, what happens here is four different angles are actually created. What I like to call angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. Now, you may number them slightly differently, but for the purposes of this video and the angle relationships that we're going to create in this video, they're going to be numbered just like this. You may notice it's kind of like the quadrants of a graph, going in that same order and direction. So we have a couple problems over here. Let's ignore those for now though. And let's take a look at these equations that we can actually write from this set of angles. Now what we notice is that any set of angles right next to each other, such as 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, or even 4 and 1, what's known as linear angles, are actually supplementary. Of course, supplementary meaning they add together to make 180 degrees, or a straight line. Now the way I personally like to think of this is with any set of supplementary angles within the intersection like this, if you start at one of them, you draw a line through your angles and you end, and guess what? You started and you ended on the same line. Now this goes, again, whether it's 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 1. We have those four relationships written right here. Now there's two other equations or relationships that we can write, and that's actually with 1 and 3, as well as 2 and 4. These angles, the ones directly across from each other in the intersection, are what is known as vertical angles, and they are congruent, otherwise known as they're equal. So we have these relationships written as well. Angle 1 equals angle 3, and angle 2 equals angle 4. Now these 6 statements are always going to be accurate, as long as you have your angles numbered in the same order that I do here. These statements will always be true, no matter what the intersection is. Whether it's angle 1 is acute, 2 is obtuse, so on and so forth. So you may recall I have some problems here that were kind of behind me there for a bit. These problems address this same intersection and ask us to use these 6 relationships that we created to figure out what the value of x is, or what the value of each angle is. Now we're not going to go over all 5 of these problems. I'll be honest, those 5 problems are actually written from one of my classes. But we're going to talk about 1 or 2 of them. Let's talk about problem 1 first. Well, problem 1 says angle 2 is 114 degrees. So this is pretty standard information. We don't have x's, we don't have anything like that. We just know one piece of information. Angle 2 is 114. Now here's the deal. By knowing one angle, we can figure out all the others. Let's just choose an angle that we want to find out the value of. Well, if we know 2, let's say we want to find 3. Well, anytime you know one thing, but you're looking for another one, then what you're going to do is you're going to choose the equation that relates the angle you know with the angle you want to find. So we know 2, we're looking for 3. So this one right here, this says angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180. We found the equation that has the angle we know and the angle we're looking for. So let's go ahead and write that. So 114 for angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180. Well, this is a pretty simple one-step algebra problem, right? Let's just get angle 3 on its own. Minus 114. These cancel out, and we find angle 3 equals 66 degrees. Presuming I did that mental math okay. So there we go, we have it. Angle 3 is 66 degrees. Now once we know the 2 different angle measures, it's actually really simple to figure out the other ones, right? Because take a look at this. Well, angle 1 is equal to angle 3. They're the same thing. So if I know 3, then I know 1. Same goes with number 4. If I know 2, it says I know 4. They're equal. So if it's 114 there, it's 114 here. and I've solved for all 4 angle measures. Now it can be a little more difficult when there's x's involved, when we have problems like these other ones that I have written here. So let's check those out. Let's try one of those. Now, let's just choose a random one. Let's choose, I don't know, number 3. Number 3 says angle 1 is 9x plus 7, and angle 4 is 25x plus 3. What do we do with that information, right? Well, again, we know a little bit of something about a couple of different angles here. So we want to identify the equation that relates to the angles that we know something about. If we know something about angle 1 and angle 4, then we should look at our equation that relates angle 1 to angle 4. It says angle 1 plus angle 4 equals 180. So let's do something with that. Well, I know angle 1 is 9x plus 7. So we have that. Angle 4 is 25x plus 3. And together, when we add them, they should be 180 degrees. So again, we have an algebraic equation here. Some terms we can combine, want to get x on its own, just stuff like that. Well, 9x and 25x can combine to be 34x, and then 7 and 3 can combine to make 10. So what we're going to do is go ahead and try to get x all by itself by first subtracting 10, getting those to cancel out and finding out 34x equals 170, and then just getting x on its own by dividing by 34. Once we do this, we find out x is 5. We got somewhere, we figured something out. That's not finishing our problem. You'll notice most problems like this are going to have some instructions kind of like mine do. You don't just want to find x, you want to find the actual angle measure of every degree of every angle in this diagram. So if we have angle 1 is 9x plus 7, how can we figure that out? Well, we just found x, right? So we can plug that in, do a little math, and we're there. So 9 times x, or 9 times 5 that we just found, plus 7, well, 9 times 5 is 45, and 45 plus 7 gets us 52 degrees. Well, there's angle 1, 52 degrees. Now, once I find angle 1, there's another one I can find right off the bat. Angle 3, because they are the same, they're congruent. And now I know whether I want to find angle 4 or angle 2, both of them are going to be supplementary with 1, meaning together they're going to add up to 180. So what with 52 makes 180? Well, that should be 128. Again, if my mental math is correct. And now that we know 4, 128, we can go ahead and find out angle 2 as well. And we've solved our problem. If you have any questions about this, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to help out. But with all problems involving an intersection of lines, at least one that looks just like this, you're going to be able to use these 6 equations that we have right behind me here to solve any of them. Whether you're given 1 and 3 and you need to set those values equal to each other because they're congruent. Or if you're given some mix of supplementary angles and you add them together to make 180, you can always get to your value of each angle pretty little bit of information. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.